Hello everyone, I'm Morgan and today I wanted to talk to you about 4 new releases I've read recently. So as usual, I'm going to go from the one I like the least to the one I like the most. So the one I like the least today is With the Lightning by Corry Lee. This is an arc that I got of a fantasy book that is Russian inspired, and I was really into it at first. I mean, the whole idea, like, it's based on not really Russian mythology or folklore, but just it's all about this idea of thunder and being thunder touched. Honestly, I didn't really understand the magic system that much for most of the book. Like, by the end I understood it, I guess, but I really struggled to understand. And we follow so these two main characters, one girl and a boy, well, actually, like, they're I'd say like 19 or 20 probably, and they are from opposing factions, I guess. So the girl is part of this circus and she is part of the rebellion. Her father is believed to be dead, and he has fought for the rebellion and was killed because of it. And this other guy, so the boy, is part of the state, I guess, and he is being trained to know how to imbue, that's the word that they use, to be able to use the power that they have that comes from thunder. And basically you have to imbue things when the thunder comes, when the storm comes, and you can be also storm touched. And it's honestly really complicated to explain and to understand, and that's my biggest criticism for this book. But also, like, the character work isn't great. Like, the characters weren't very developed. Like, I can barely remember them from now, actually. And it hasn't been that long that I have read it, so that's not a good sign. But I did enjoy some parts of it. Like, I like the characters even though they weren't very developed. And I don't know, I'm always here for rebellious people, like rebels, sorry. So yeah, that always works for me, but ultimately, like, this was not a great book and I have learned most of it already. The next book I want to talk about is The City We Became by Jemisin, which has been highly talked about on BookTube, which is really nice to see. I listened to the audiobook of this one and I'm glad I did. It has some beautiful sound effects, so I would highly recommend you listen to it if you like audiobooks. But yes, this is so original. Everyone has said so, and that's really how I feel like too. I've never read something like this. So if you don't know, The City We Became is a story where the boroughs of New York become characters, kind of. So there are these characters that we follow. First we have Manny, I think it was, who is the avatar of Manhattan that we follow at first, who is coming to the city to live there for university, and he slowly discovers that he is the avatar of Manhattan and it's really weird for him. So we first encounter this thing with him, and there's also a prologue actually that shows other people that lived long before our main characters, and how this has been happening for some time, and that some people are kind of chosen to be the avatars of the city because they really represent them and they care about their city and boroughs. And so they have to fight this evil creature, sort of, that is coming to New York City and that is attacking most big cities. And there's also this other guy who comes from this other city in South America, and he is the avatar of another city, and so he's trying to help them. There are bits that are quite funny actually. Like, there's a bit of a banter between some of the characters that I really liked. Also, they're really different. Like, Brooklyn, so the avatar of Brooklyn was a bit older. So Maddie is about like 20-25 years old, and Brooklyn is about 30-35. She's not an old woman, but I mean she's older, and she has a kid also, and she used to be a DJ. She's really cool. Well, actually, yeah, no, she's the avatar of Brooklyn. I just wanted to be sure. And like they're all so different, and I really liked every single character. And yeah, the magic system is really cool. The only thing that I didn't like was how it ended, because like the book was really building up to something, like the tension, and I kept waiting for something to happen, and then as soon as something was about to, the book ended. So I know this is the first book in a trilogy, or a series anyway, so that's why, but I wanted something of the ending, and it wasn't there, so that I was a little disappointed, but I am looking forward to the second book and to see how these characters will keep fighting. There's also a lot of talk about racism in this book, as I don't know, is typical I guess nowadays, which I really enjoy. So we have obviously like one of the characters, or multiple, who are black people. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's been some time that I read it, so I'm trying to remember. I think that at least one, maybe two of the characters are black, if not more. Actually more. I'm not sure anymore, but I know there was quite a lot of talk about racism, and also like because of the Avatar Staten Island, who is actually pretty racist. I'm not really sure if she's racist or it's more her family, but there's a whole talk about them, and because they're trying to bring her with them, but as she is racist, it doesn't really work out. And yeah, I really liked this book, you know, like it was a great time, and the audiobook was so good, so I wanted to keep listening. Then another book that I listened to an audiobook is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. I love this book so much. This is a sequel of An Unremarkable Thing by Hank Green, which I also really loved. These are sci-fi books, but they're pretty light sci-fi. Most of it is contemporary, I would say, like, and I guess it's adult, but I would say like new adult without the connotation of sex. Just for me, like, new adult is between YA and adult. Like they're about 20-25 years old, you know, and I really like that age range because I don't really see many people of that age in books, and I am that age, so it's nice to see. And so the first book really delved into the topics of celebrity and fame, also social media, but this second book delves more into the technology parts of society, I guess. And it was just so nice to see, like, he didn't make the same book, which I really enjoy, because a lot of series, duologies, trilogies, whatever, make books that are really like between the first book and the second book. And so even though I like the book, I'm still kind of annoyed because it's more of the same thing, and I want to see something new, at least a little bit. And here that was really well done, because as first, so the topics that he talks about are different, but also like the characters that we see are not the same. Like we see the same characters but not the same perspectives, actually. So in the first book we followed mostly one main character. I don't remember her name anymore because I'm bad with names, but I do really like her, and she had a great arc in the first book, and now we see the story mostly from her friend's perspective, because she isn't really in the second book, which makes sense if you know the story, and she appears at some point. So I really like that, and just, yeah, the topics that were talked about, it made me think so much about society and where it's going, and I don't know, it blew my mind. And again, like, the audiobook was amazing, which was also the case of the first book, so I knew it was going to happen. I had pre-ordered the audiobook for that reason, and I'm so happy I did. It was a huge, great experience. So yeah. And the last book I have to talk about is Sal and Gabi Fix the Universe by Hernandez. This is the second book in the Sal and Gabi series. The first book being Sal and Gabi Break the Universe, and I love this book so much. It was so cute. Like, this is middle grade sci-fi, and if you know, like, I mentioned the first book in my series where I read the books that were nominated for the BookTube SFF Awards, and this one was nominated in the middle grade category, and it was just the best book I read in that series, and I just like it so much. Like, so the story is about Sal and Gabi. Sal is a young boy who is Cuban American, so his family is from Cuba, and there's a lot of talk about food, first of all, which I really enjoy. Like, it really made me want to eat food that is from Cuba, and so I actually did after reading this book. And so it follows also, so Sal has come to live in this new city. I'm not sure what city it is anymore because I'm bad with names and cities too. Any specifics, but so he comes to live in this city. He has to meet these new people at school, and at first he doesn't really struggle, but kind of, and so Gabi is a little bit hard on him at first, but they become fast friends still, and it's so nice to see. And Sal really likes to make magic tricks, so he's always bringing magic, like utensils, I don't know, at school, and that's the thing. And he meets some other people at school, and all the characters in this book are great. Sal's family, Gabi's family, they're so nice and cute, and there's this whole thing like Gabi has so many dads, and not all of them also are men actually, and she actually has a dad who is a robot. And this robot works with Sal's dad in a research lab about physics, and it's so cool. Like, I love this series so much. I cannot wait for him to publish more books in this series. It's great. Like, I love it. And also the more important plot line is that Sal can go into other universes, and he keeps bringing back his mother from other universes, because in the one he lives in, his mother is dead. And so in the first book, he has been struggling for years, and sometimes he brings his mother, though he's very happy with his dad, and his dad has remarried, and his stepmom is really great. Like, she also teaches she used to teach in his school, and she's the sweetest. So like, every single character is amazing in this book, and even the ones that don't seem like it at first get better. And yeah, it's the sweetness, you know, like, amazing. And I love the sci-fi elements that are discussed in here about the universes and how they're trying to fix it in the first book. So also the reason they're trying to fix it is because the research that his dad is doing is kind of on that as well, and apparently if he keeps going to other universes, he's bringing some particles into the universe, and eventually they could bring the end of the world. So they have to stop that, and there's more of this in this book as well, and actually other people from other universes. So it's very, very cool. But yeah, that's all for me today. Thank you for watching. Please tell me if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, as I would love to know. But that's all for me. Thank you for watching again, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Goodbye. Dream I know, deep up my feelings.